Can you hear me better? There we go. Okay. It just got turned down, I think. Thank you for pointing that out, Rita. Hopefully you guys can hear me a little bit better now. If you do not hear me, please mention something so that I can go ahead and take another look, but I think I've figured it out. Unfortunately, my little setting got turned down a little bit there. But at the bottom of this handout that we're looking at together, what you're seeing is a list of things that you can do immediately. So even if you have completed the onboarding process, we are now going over information and different ways for you guys to get connected in the office, different ways to get plugged in. So you'll see here that we are going to look at the website together today. As part of that, we'll also explore our office calendar. We'll talk a little bit more about Ignite, which obviously I know a lot of us are gearing up to get started in Ignite this Friday. We're also going to refer to a few Facebook pages that I highly recommend, and we'll talk about attending different office meetings. Of course, you guys are already doing that, which is fantastic. Please continue to do so. I'm just double checking to make sure that we're doing better. Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure that that was good. I figured that was a good way to resolve the issue. I just wanted to make sure. So that was our getting started section here. KWB resources, we looked at getting started. The next thing that we are going to now take a look at is under basic training. If you were to select learn more by clicking on this option here, it will take you to the Scott Leroy Marketing website. So the Scott Leroy team is who actually put together your KW technology. So initially, they are somebody you're introduced to very early on. However, this same team is still a useful resource for you moving forward beyond just that initial technology setup. So again, the Scott Leroy team should have put together your KW email, your KW website, given you access to DocuSign and several different accounts that they initially will email you all this login information. However, their help does not stop there. I always like to take a moment to look at their website because you'll see right here we do land on the front page that has a search bar feature. In this specific search bar, you actually could search, for example, QR code, and things like QR code forums will pop up for you. So this would allow you guys to go in, fill out information. If you were looking to create a QR code for your print marketing, you could go in, fill out that information relative to the QR code you are trying to get, and their team will put that together for you for free and send it back to you guys within an hour. So the Scott Leroy team does have lots of helpful background when it comes to your KW technology. They're easy to email to ask simple questions, but additionally, they do offer tons of concierge services to you guys as agents. Several of those services you actually don't even have to pay for. So I really like to take the time to make sure you guys are aware that there's lots of different resources available to you through this team that sometimes don't get utilized. So be aware. I always say that unfortunately, we don't tend to have time to dive too deeply into this website during class, but please take the time to go back to their website at your leisure and explore some of the concierge features that they have to offer. In order to do that, we're going to go up to the top right-hand button right here where it says login. You're going to then type in our market center number, which is 350. And once you've typed in 350, you can hit enter. It should now at the very top allow us to see multiple tabs appear, meaning that it's recognizing our partnership as one of the market centers that pay to be partnered with the Scott Leroy team. And now you can find that there are different resources available to you. So under agent resources, please go through to the agent support and marketing support sections. Figure out what it is that the Scott Leroy team can do for you and your business for free, because there are tons of different things they can do for you, like creating open house flyers, creating listing flyers. So save yourself some of that time and energy, because right now, as a brand new agent, you're often doing every single thing yourselves. So utilize this built-in leverage that's available to you for free and just go ahead and explore a little bit further how they can help you piece those puzzle pieces together. Otherwise, when we are looking at their website, just by going under agent resources, another thing I always point out for your reference is under training. If you were to navigate over to where it says training calendar, you actually can come over to the Scott Leroy marketing website as well to access tons of KW technology based trainings. So in January, here's all the different tech trainings that you can expect. They are talking about websites tomorrow. You can find they also will speak to you about databases, nurturing your databases, DocuSign classes, classes. They have tons of content available to you live from 1 to 2 o'clock, Monday through Friday. So I point this out because there's a couple different reasons. One is that not everybody's schedule looks the same. So if you realize that you're having a difficult time going through and attending some of the in-person classes or online classes run through our market center, those are Tuesday and Thursday afternoons. If maybe that's just a challenge for your current schedule, but Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, you have a little bit more flexibility. This is an easy way for you guys to still get that live training when you may be looking for it. Additionally, I like to point this out as well because I want to make sure that for those of us who might be looking for a specific topic sometime soon so that they're getting information in a timely manner, I want you guys to be aware that there are tons of rotated topics just through the Scott Leroy team. So if you're realizing that Jules and Leah have some great classes coming up, but it's just not quite on the focus that you're looking for, you guys can always come and cross-reference with the Scott Leroy marketing calendar because you never know what additional classes may be offered live where you guys can get real-time answers and real-time clarity. So be aware that this calendar is here. If you ever want a handout where you can just download all the topics, they do also post their monthly calendars below. Just make sure you're grabbing the Eastern Standard Time. Otherwise, the only other thing I would mention to you today is under store here. I know one of the biggest questions I get from brand new agents is regarding your business cards. So by clicking on store, it will actually take you to agentstore.com, which is partnered with the Scott Leroy team, partnered with Keller Williams. You actually can go in and order business cards, name tags, other swag that's all branded already to Keller Williams. So you can go in there, you can find pre-done templates and make it very easy to just go ahead and plug in your specific information to then go ahead and place your business card order. I specifically point this out because, again, with it being such a popular question, I want you guys to know an easy route to get that accomplished. I also want to make sure that you guys are aware because I know that for not all of us love design, not all of us are very creative naturally. Some of us just want something quick and easy that they can order so they can officially start door knocking. So if you're in that boat, there are 32 pre-done templates that you can explore right here on this website. I also like to point this out because it's important to make sure everyone is aware that as a provisional broker, if you are licensed in North Carolina and you've not yet completed your post-licensing courses, you are a provisional broker status, meaning that you are required to get the approval on your business card by our BIC associate, Tasha Viney, before you place your order. The reason for that is that as a provisional broker, you guys tend to just have a little bit more stipulations and requirements surrounding what you guys are doing and how you're publicly promoting your business. So with that being said, your BIC associate Tasha needs to approve that design before you place that order because we do not want you guys to risk spending any money on anything and then finding out you can't use it. That would be unfortunate. So please be aware that Agent Store is right here. It is super cost effective and they make it easy. For myself, this was years ago, but I was able to get 500 cards through this website for $39. So again, just very competitive pricing, something to keep in mind. You're not limited to this website. You guys can absolutely go to a Vistaprint, go to a Canva, do something very unique and custom to your business. But of course, if you are doing that, you absolutely need to make sure you're consulting with Tasha to get approval on that design. Outside of these top two pieces that we explore, we do take a little bit further a dive. We're now coming across some of those key Facebook pages that I recommend joining. You'll see here that we have two at the top, both of which are actually going to be managed by our office. So this top Facebook page is an internal Facebook page. It is just our agents and our leadership team participating in a private Facebook group. This makes it really easy for you guys to communicate amongst each other because, as you can tell, we do not always have all 600 of us trying to cram through the doors at once. So it does make it a little bit easier for you to be in contact and in relationship with some agents that might not frequent the office as often. On that same site, it's easy for you guys to ask questions, to get some clarity on different things. And then in addition to that, I will always be on there talking about the upcoming trainings and events that we've got going in this office. That way you can be able to participate in anything of interest whenever it is set to arrive on the calendar. So we're making it really easy for you guys to, again, start plugging in and building that collaborative effort within our office because you're going to see that a lot of conversations happening right there on the Facebook page, and it's super easy for you guys to jump in and get started. Lastly, with that Facebook, I know another big question I get is, okay, well, how do I get my foot in the door? How do I start doing showings or make sure that people know I'm willing to do a showing? How do I offer to do an open house or ask to shadow an open house? That Facebook page is going to be a great starting point. You're also going to find that agents in our office are asking those questions. They're looking for newer agents who are interested in doing showings. They're looking for newer agents who are available to hold an open house for them. So if you're looking to get your foot in the door, this is an excellent stopping point, and I would highly recommend that you guys take a moment to join that Facebook group if you've not already. It would be one I've emailed to everybody when they onboard. It's part of the welcome email that I send to you once you're officially in the system. But if you've missed that, you can click right on that link as well to get access to the page. Underneath that, you'll also find that we do have another Facebook page that's managed by our office. This one is going to include our vendor partners. So here at Keller Williams Ballantyne, we do have a preferred vendor program. Those vendor partners specifically are going to be vetted by other agents in this office. So one of the other big things that I know for you guys getting started is that you might not already have this slew of vendors that you know and trust. So if you are looking to be acquainted and in relationship with vendors that you can trust moving forward, this is a great place for you guys to check because our current vendor partners are part of this page. It makes it very easy for you guys to get in contact with them. They're always sharing about upcoming promotions and deals, new services they may be offering. So it does make it really easy for you guys to be aware of who's out there and who you can reach out to for assistance with your clients. So this is a great Facebook page to be part of. Again, it just allows you guys to connect with our vendors more easily. There is also a great way for you guys to find our vendor information on our page as well beyond just this Facebook group. So if you're not a Facebook user, I promise you'll still be able to access that information. And we'll look at it here in just a few minutes. Below that is a Charlotte area realtor network. So that is going to be a Facebook page dedicated to local real estate agents, not specific to Keller Williams. And below that is going to be the KW Carolinas Facebook page. This is going to be our regional Facebook group. So all Keller Williams offices between North and South Carolina and their agents are part of this group. It's an easy way for you guys to start building some great referral network partners because you never know, you very well may run into some clients that are looking to move out towards the coast. And that's just not an MLS that you personally have access to. And it's just going to be a one-time deal. So maybe it doesn't make sense for you guys to get your access out that direction. So if you are looking to build a strong referral network, it's always easily done through the KW Carolinas page. In addition to that, we also have separate trainings. In addition to what's offered in Ballantyne, there's a whole list of separate trainings offered on a regional level. So if you guys are curious about those trainings and opportunities, some of the big speakers they may be bringing in, or you're interested in traveling to start maybe building those referral partners and networking effectively in the region, you can do that through some of the training opportunities offered. So again, that Facebook group's a great way for you guys to stay involved and aware of what's going on. Below, you'll find colorisms. This is going to be a one-page or a one-page handout. This is going to be a multiple-page handout. One I will not click on today, but this colorisms will actually break down the terminology that's used within Keller Williams, and we just put it into real-world definitions for you because we know that some of the terms that you're hearing in the hallway, maybe we're familiar with one or two, maybe we're hearing a couple that we're not quite so sure of. There are going to be terms like capping, which usually is one that resonates pretty quickly. Typically, you guys know that before you walk in the door, and if you don't, you learn it very quickly. However, there are going to be some terms like a 145 that makes it a little bit harder to know exactly what's being referenced. So if you're in that boat and you're not quite sure, especially if you're coming across any of this information after hours, this is an easy little checklist or sheet for you to click on. It will break down everything by definition into more digestible terminology. Underneath, we do see here that there is access to answers.kw.com. This is one that everybody should already know about because it's one that I would have introduced to you when you sat down with me to complete your onboarding. But answers.kw.com is going to be a phenomenal resource for you guys that you're welcome to use, especially in those after-hours situations. Essentially, though, this is a knowledge-based website. You just go to answers.kw.com. You could actually search for keywords related to what you may be working on, specific to your KW technology, of course. And helpful articles about that topic will appear right there within the answers.kw.com browser. So if you guys are struggling at all with your technology, navigating, doing something for the very first time, again, we do teach classes regularly in our market center, specifically to help you guys along with that process. And if Tuesdays are a challenge for you, if you're a dual career agent and it's just not a convenient time, or again, if maybe you just might be working on something for the first time and realize, uh-oh, I don't know quite as much as I thought I did. Let me see what I can figure out. Answers.kw.com is always going to be a fantastic on-demand resource that you can get to anytime you need it. Similar to this site, there will also be one called ideas.kw.com, and that's going to be one that's dedicated to your feedback and suggestions about KW Command. Because we know that, again, as a new agent, we want this platform to be user-friendly, we want it to be intuitive, and we want it to make your life easier, not harder. So even if you feel like, oh, well, I'm just brand new, your opinions and your feedback are invaluable, and we want to have that from you as much as you feel like comfortable sharing. So if, again, you come across anything where you're like, this is a great feature, I just wish it was available here too, or maybe I don't really love how they did this, all of that feedback is important to us, and Labs is constantly unveiling new updates to help out, making sure that Command is ultimately the greatest tool for you to use in your business. So answers.kw.com is great for those frequently asked questions about your KW tech, and ideas.kw.com is going to be a great website to go to provide feedback about your KW tech. Below, there is a way for you guys to download Ignite materials. I will send Ignite materials to everybody after they've attended class this Friday. So if you guys are able to join us on Friday, I will make sure that you get a personal email that has those materials included. So don't worry about going in and downloading them now. I'll make sure you have a digital copy to work with, and it will cover all 20 sessions. But as a reminder, Ignite does get started this Friday. It's going to be Friday, January 9th. We are launching, and in our launch, we like to give you guys kind of an overview of what to expect over the next 4 weeks. But we are then starting up fresh on Monday with session one. Our Ignite sessions are run 9 to 12, Monday through Friday, in person only. And they are led by some top producing agents right here in our office, all of which have gone through the exact same processes you have right here in the same market. So they can share a lot of their experience with you, a lot of the tools with you that they've used and that they've appreciated over the years. And this way, you guys can use bits and pieces of what they're sharing to help build your business the way that you wish. So keep that in mind. Ignite, again, is an incredibly strong program. We always say if there's one program to recommend that we feel fills in the gaps from when you left real estate school with your license in hand to actually really selling your first property, we highly recommend Ignite to be that foundation builder for you, just because it is going to highlight all the things that you probably feel like I went through school and learned nothing about how to do an open house, nothing about how to work with my buyers and sellers. That will all be taught to you guys during our Ignite program. You'll also be given the opportunity within your Ignite sessions to do some hands-on lead gen practice with some of the tactics that you've learned. Underneath those Ignite materials, you do see that there's access to our training calendar. I personally find that that's a little challenging to get to, not because it doesn't work, but because it's just, again, more scrolling, more clicks. There's a much easier way to get to the training calendar. So I'm going to highlight that for you in a little bit. But lastly, we do come across a section dedicated to booking our conference rooms. And we do have 5 different conference rooms available for you right here in the office. There's also 2 focus rooms just outside the back door of our training room. But these conference rooms are available for your use, and we do not ask you guys to spend any money towards using those spaces. The only thing that we ask of you guys in order to use those spaces with your clients, with other agents, with your coaches, etc., is that we just ask you reserve those spaces, so that way not only can you guarantee that you'll be uninterrupted in that space, but also that you're not going to be interrupting someone else. But we do have 5 different conference rooms. They vary in capacity. We've got some that hold 8 people. We've got some that hold just 4. So depending on what you may be looking for based off of who you're meeting with, that might dictate the room that you choose. The way to go about booking these is you'll click on that register button. It should take you to a third-party website called skeda.com. In skeda.com, you'll go ahead and make a login if you haven't already. I always recommend use your username and password that you would for Command. Keep it simple or use your KW email, your password for command. Keep it nice and easy for yourselves. But once you're registered on that site, you should officially have access to a full spreadsheet that will open up. On the top, you're going to see every conference room listed by name as well as the amount of people that it holds. So that way, if you don't have our conference room names memorized, that's okay. You'll still know if you're booking an appropriate room. You'll also see down the left-hand side all of the time slots during the day, and you'll already be able to see the current reservations before you drag and drop yourself in one of the available rooms. So that's an easy way. We just ask you guys to keep those reservations to about 2 hours or less. That's really just intended to allow you guys the opportunity to share those spaces effectively with other agents, make sure that they're always available to be on rotation. The focus rooms, however, unlike our conference rooms, are designed to be independent workspaces. So the conference rooms are going to be more communal. They're going to be collaborative efforts. That's when you're meeting with another person or more than one other person. But if you are just looking for a private space to comfortably work, maybe get your lead gen done where you're not getting distracted in the hub area, the focus rooms are single desk office spaces with closed doors that you can book for yourselves just to have that a little bit of privacy. Again, we're asking that you guys use those spaces for 2 hours or less, but those are going to be located right outside of our office here, or right outside of our back door to the training room here. And those are available for you to book through this same website as the conference rooms. So with all that being said, I am going to take us back to the home page here, guys. We are going to now scroll past that new agent section just so that we can see we're coming across our leadership team here, which most of us should actually have a handout already available to us that outlines all of our wonderful leadership team, tells you who we are, what our role is, and how you can reach us through email. Ideally, just making it really easy for you should you have questions. You'll have an easier understanding of who you may be able to reach out to and how you can reach out to them for more assistance. Underneath all of our faces, we are going to come across a section called Getting Paid with Command. These are just two pinned videos that Leah, our marketing coordinator, has done in the past. Think of them as tutorials. She's going to walk you through how to do several different things with your technology. And she's pinned them right here because she knows how valuable they are to you guys as new agents. So the top of the two videos, actually, let me start over. The bottom of the two videos is the one I want everybody in this room to start out with. This is going to be an ultimate overview of how Command and DocuSign connect with each other, how they talk to each other. So if you are brand new, you've gotten your MLS access, and you've not gone into DocuSign to put your NERD's ID number into the settings of DocuSign, then that's a necessary step for you guys to complete at your convenience. I recommend sooner rather than later because I'd much rather know that my account is ready to go so that when my client says, yes, I'm ready to meet, I don't have to worry that when I get into DocuSign, things aren't going to be working properly. So me personally, I would recommend go in, watch this video, and make sure your NERD's ID is input into your DocuSign. Again, you will not have a NERD's ID assigned to you until after you've made your initial payment with MLS. At that point, you should have received an email containing your NERD's ID. That's the video you'll watch to go and make sure that number is featured in DocuSign. So please do watch that because otherwise, when you guys first sit down with your clients, you're going to get into DocuSign and realize you have 0 forms, and that's a scary feeling, and we don't want scary feelings. Above that video, there is going to be another post done by Leah. This video is concerning how to submit a commission request in Command. So that's another piece that we ask you guys to do as part of your transaction. In addition to uploading your documents for Carla Kettler, our compliance coordinator, to review, double check you got your signatures in the right place, you're not missing any important dates. Carla's going to be checking all those files, but we of course want to know that you've got something preparing for closing. So essentially, every time you go under contract moving forward, you are going to go in and submit a commission request within the same opportunity that you've uploaded the documents for this transaction. So I know that we have plenty of classes to do a deeper dive for you, but when you're in Command and you're working a transaction, all your files will go into what's known as an opportunity. In the same opportunity, you'll submit a commission request so that we are prepared for that upcoming closing. As long as you guys have submitted your commission request, and as long as you guys have all of your full files approved by Carla within the opportunity, when we have that check in hand, when we receive that wire, whichever comes first or whichever you elect to do, I should say, then typically speaking, Lynn, our MCA, can schedule your payment for next business day. So just make sure you've got all your ducks in a row. You've submit your commission request. If you have not done that moving forward and you need to figure out how to do it, know that this video will always be available on our page. There is an easy way for us to get now to our office calendar if we continue scrolling. Just as an FYI to those of us online, if we were to click on office calendar up here in the tabs up top, it would pull you directly to this section just to make it easier. That way you don't have to do all that scrolling yourself. But once we're looking at the office calendar, my recommendation for everyone is to click here for a full calendar view. I personally do not like how condensed everything gets on this calendar. I think it's harder to read that way. So when I click full calendar view above the calendar itself, it's now going to open up to a full screen where I can actually really visualize what's going on. So obviously you can see what we've got slated for today. You can start to see as well what's going on for the remainder of the week, the remainder of the month, and so on and so forth. So as you guys are starting to plan out how you'd like to plug in, what trainings and events you'd like to be part of, do look at our calendar, click on anything that sounds exciting to you. If it sounds like it would be of value to you personally or professionally, we want you to participate. We want you in that room. So if it is something available to you in person, and we're asking you to sign up so I know you'll be here for it, you'll find that there will always be a registration link featured in that calendar description. For events like today's, where we've got no in-person registration necessary, but you can attend in person if you'd like to, you'll see right here, offered in person and through Zoom, in-person attendance strongly encouraged, register to attend in person. Look, there's no link because there is no registration necessary. But to attend remotely, you'll find that we have the Zoom link featured. So similarly, anytime something's ever available online, you'll always find the registration link for the Zoom featured there as well. So it makes it really easy for you guys to plug in live or to plug in face to face if that's what you'd prefer to do. Again, no wrong answers on how you prefer to participate for your classes, especially if you have the choice between in person or online. There's no right or wrong answer. I will always just stress that there is so much importance in participating live as often as you can, whether that is online or whether that is face to face. There's so much value in being able to ask your questions in real time and get clarity in the moment versus sitting down with a list of questions and hoping you run into the right person the following day. So I would encourage you guys, again, to jump into as many trainings that excite you or that seem like they would be of value to you or your business. We have got tons going on and we would love to share it with you. There's always good conversations happening here at Valentine, and the more you're able to plug in, the better you'll feel, especially ahead of your first transaction. So just be mindful of what's going on the calendar. If you guys ever have questions on what you see listed here, just reach out to me. I'm usually a great point of contact when it comes to calendar related questions, but hopefully most of those event descriptions provide you all the information you need. They also will tell you how you can attend the class so that you can go ahead and get signed up if that's necessary. But please feel free. We've got lots of exciting things to kick off the new year now that we are officially back up and running. So anything that you're seeing in the next few weeks, even navigate into February, please join us for. It's incredibly rare you'll find something that's invitation only on the calendar. So whatever sounds exciting, we want you to be part of. And lastly, in the bottom left-hand corner, if you guys are a big fan of Google Calendar, you like to have everything available to you at the touch of a button. I totally understand that, and I would recommend doing the same thing with our training calendar. You can actually use the Add to Google Calendar button in the very bottom left corner here, and this will copy all of our Market Center information over for you. So that way, you guys don't have to keep coming back to KWB resources. It'll be something that you can find very easily through your own Google Calendar. Really quickly, when I click on that, I think it's going to yell at me because I didn't sign in today. So I apologize for that. But most importantly, when you copy this information over to your Google Calendar, there is a way for you to go back and hide the same information. So you're not permanently accepting all of these calendar invites on your calendar. You can choose to see it when it is helpful and hide it when it is not. Otherwise, as we scroll past our calendar, you will find a little section that is going to be dedicated to our recurring meetings that you'll find right there on the calendar. So one of which is going to be our ALC meetings. So our ALC meetings is our Agent Leadership Council. Our Agent Leadership Council is going to be top producing members of our office that have voluntarily offered to give a little bit more of their time to serve as different committee members, constantly trying to make sure that Valentine is going to be the best place to call home. So our ALC members do get together once a month, every single month, and they are having larger, higher level business masterminds together, great conversations to sit in on, but they're also being consulted with a lot of the decisions that are being made in regards to the future of KW Valentine. So if you're wondering, okay, maybe for example, we're talking about increasing the transaction fee, we would start that conversation amongst our leadership team. We would consult with our investors, and then before we actually go about enacting that, we would then consult with our ALC. We would get our ALC members to vote on that before the decision is implemented. And that way, again, you know that you guys have a voice as an agent in this office. Your ALC members are designed to be that proxy for you so that they can make sure that this is the best environment for your businesses to thrive. So our ALC meetings are going to be offered once a month, third Tuesdays at 11 a.m. These are in-person meetings only. So if you guys are planning to attend one of those ALC meetings, we are just asking you guys kindly to allow them to hold the floor and allow you guys to be mainly observers for that conversation. The second and fourth Tuesday of every month at 11 o'clock, we are having our team meetings. Our team meetings are high energy. This training room is actually usually packed out for those team meetings. So what we do is we have lots of fun. We bring in the energy, we bring in the excitement. In our slideshow that we're going to go through together, we are always featuring an agent panel. We are always featuring a special guest. We are always doing something exciting so that there is a lot of value being shared in that hour since you're giving us that of your time. After that, we will also go over and we'll just kind of get some good updates from our BIC associate. We'll get some great updates from our tech coordinators, updates as well from different events and things that are going to be coming up in the office for you guys to be marking on your calendars. So lots will happen in those meetings. The other great thing about our team meetings is that we are inviting our vendor partners to those meetings, and they will actually get situated in the hub area so that when you guys are ready to leave our team meetings, you have the opportunity to go network with our vendor partners and build relationships with them. Find out who they are, what they do, and how they could assist you and your future clients, and get in those relationships now so you already have someone trustworthy that you could call when the time comes. But team meetings are lots of fun. They're offered in person and online. For those of us who are planning to do in-person Ignite, anytime that a team meeting falls on the same day, instead of having your lead gen hour, you actually are going to be staying with us for a team meeting. We're just going to come in and join you in the room, and that way you guys can get a feel for what those are as well. The last item is going to be Tech Tuesdays. Those are Tuesday afternoons. Every single Tuesday afternoon, we are talking about KW Command and DocuSign. We're making sure that you guys are familiar with those platforms and know how to use them at a high level. So hopefully you guys have now logged into each of those websites and accounts. You kind of explored and played around a little bit. When you're finally ready to start ironing out your systems, getting a little bit stronger with each of those platforms and learning the most efficient ways to use those tools, join us for Tech Tuesdays. Those are offered in person and online. They're led by Jenna Kelly. She is an admin for one of our top producing teams, and she's been using this technology since its origin, essentially. So she can really show you a lot of fantastic features and ways to use those platforms at a high level to save yourselves time and energy. Because again, when you guys are doing a little bit of everything to get you started and to launch your business, it's nice to save yourselves that time and effort where you can. So do join us for those Tech Tuesday classes. You will not regret your opportunity to learn how to use things at a higher level. Then we will come across Saber Romeo and Tasha Viney. Saber Romeo is our BIC. Tasha Viney is our BIC associate. Both of these lovely ladies are listed here because we want you to know that just because you might not see them as often, they are still very, very important members of our leadership team. Sabra is going to be our actual BIC. She's going to hold that broker in charge title. Tasha is going to be our BIC associate. So technically not our actual BIC. There are going to be times when you're being asked to consult with the true BIC BIC of the Market Center, and that's going to be Sabra. But Tasha Viney is very knowledgeable. She's equally patient and kind as Sabra as well, and she's in the office 3 days a week, and you'll see those office hours here. So Tasha's somebody that you guys can also consult with, ask a lot of questions to. I always tell you guys that she's fantastic with administrative based questions, anything that's essentially not urgent. So it's not like my transaction has blown up and my hair is on fire. This is somebody that you can consult for more baby step type things. Maybe we're not at that point yet. But Tasha will be very, very helpful for a lot of those administrative and not so urgent questions in between. So I would highly recommend asking her, talking to her, and using her for different questions you may have as you are in the office. You'll see again when you can stop in with her. Otherwise, you can reach either of these lovely ladies through email. Unfortunately, you will not see Saber in the office as often. She does care for her mother, who is 102. So she is not always going to be in the office, which is exactly why Tasha's here 3 days a week. And I know we're nowhere near June, so nobody's really thinking about renewals or anything of the sort. But if you guys find yourselves wondering, did I do everything I had to do in time for the renewal process? You can find lots of those great handouts right here. Everything you're seeing will explain to you exactly how the license renewal process goes, how to make sure that you've met all the requirements, checking your own individual status. Lots of great information right here that you can access anytime you need it. We will eventually come across our current ALC. Actually, this is going to be our 2025 ALC. I've not gone in to update these faces just yet, but we are going to have some phenomenal individuals serving on our ALC this year. We've got a ALC of 13 top producing agents that you'll love to get acquainted with. Their focuses specifically will be on growth of the Market Center and you guys individually getting assistance in growing your downlines. So for those of us who are interested in building our profit share, Growth Committee is going to be a phenomenal resource for you, somebody absolutely to talk to and learn some of those fantastic tools and how to begin that process. We're also going to have a KW Cares Committee because KW Cares is our charitable arm. That's true for the entire company of Keller Williams, but we at Ballantine have our own KW Ballantine Cares Fund. So really what that is us collecting any charitable donations from our agents to be used to help our other agents in times of need. So we will always have a focus on that as well going into 2026, making sure again that we are constantly having a fantastic, we're having fantastic donations and donors, and that way we can always have something available for anybody who may find themselves in need during the course of the year. So please keep that in mind. If you guys are curious to learn more about either of those topics, you'll find out who our ALC is very shortly, and you'll be able to get better acquainted with each of them. But if you do have any additional questions, please let me know. I would be happy to help guide you in the right direction. Next, we will come across our productivity coaches. As part of your onboarding process, especially if you are brand new to real estate, everybody is getting introduced to a productivity coach. Your productivity coach is designed to help you guys build a business for success, designed to reach success. What they're doing is they're helping you guys understand how to procure business. They're teaching you the how-tos of building a successful business, building a strong foundation, and learning how to constantly be keeping that pipeline up and running so that hopefully your leads never run dry. And your coach also in that same time frame, they're going to be teaching you scripts. They're going to be going over different conversation pieces to help you guys to generate those leads. But in addition to those efforts, your coach also is going to be in your corner, helping to support you and hold you accountable to any of the goals that you've set for yourself this year. They want to make sure that your first year in real estate is as successful as you would like for it to be. So your coach is somebody fantastic to lean into. They're also going to offer weekly meetings. These will be group settings, but intimate groups at that. So it's not going to be too overwhelming, not too many at one time. But you guys will get together and have fantastic conversation in your weekly meetings. Outside of those weekly meetings, you can then schedule one-on-ones with your coach. But I highly recommend participating in those weekly meetings as often as you can, because when the time comes that you're ready to sit down with your first set of clients, you'll have wanted to learn a lot of that information prior to sitting down with your clients. So listen to your coach, participate with your coach, engage with your coach, and build relationship because they're going to be a phenomenal resource for you guys moving forward. If you are brand new to the Market Center, as in the last week or so, and you've not yet been introduced to your coach, that should be happening sometime this week. Michelle Amador, who oversees our program, will be calling each of you guys as new agents so that she can help get you connected with a fantastic resource, somebody that she thinks that you'll be in great relationship with and thrive with. Underneath that, we do come across T group partners. This is the second pillar of mentorship that's offered to you guys as brand new agents, and another auto assign piece that we will do for you. Your transaction partner, unlike your coach, their focus is specifically on the contracts and forms that you're using. So they will still have weekly meetings. You'll still be introduced to them very early on, but instead of your coach who's going to teach you the lead generation side of things and hold you accountable, your transaction partner is going to teach you how to fill out the contracts and forms that you're utilizing. And they'll also be an available resource that you could reach out to if you have questions when you're working with your first set of clients, especially if it differs at all from what you guys talked about in class. The important thing to know, again, is with each of these individuals, they all have their own businesses that they are operating. So their sole role is not just as your T group partner or your coach. So just be mindful of that when you're reaching out to them. Again, some of them will have families as well. So if you're trying to reach them at 9 o'clock at night, somebody might be asleep. So I always recommend, again, participate in their meetings as often as you can so that you have a lot of that information and foundation built up before you need the information. After you've done that, if you have questions in the specific transaction you may be in and you want to reach out to Tasha, for example, to ask her a question as your T group partner, you could shoot Tasha a text and say, hey, I've got a question about this. Sorry, it's a little different than what we did in class. Do you have 5 minutes where I could maybe chat with you? And then she'll let you know her next available time that you guys can give her a call. And then that way you guys can go over that information, get the clarity you need before you move forward. So again, the more you can participate in these meetings, the better you'll feel. The way you'll get introduced to your T group partner is through me. I actually send everybody an email to their Keller Williams email address and ask you guys what the best fitting T group would be for your schedules on a weekly basis. Whatever response you give me is who I will introduce you to. So if you have not yet been connected with a T group partner or not sure, please do reach out to me through email or look for that email in your Keller Williams email address inbox, because there should be something from me asking you who I can help connect you with. At the bottom, we do find helpful resources and helpful links, all of which I will tell you are available up top. So I think it's much easier for us to find the information there. So we're not going to dig too deeply at the bottom there. But this was our homepage, and I know we do spend a lot of time on that, but we will move a little faster here now that we've gone over that information. So the next tab we're going to see is FAQs. If you click on this, it's going to give you just a general idea of questions that we receive from our newer agents as you guys are getting acclimated to the office. So if you're not sure who you should reach out to about compliance, for example, if I hover my mouse over that tile, it will tell me that Carla Kettler is the best person to contact. And then it will tell me her email address so that I could reach out to her with whatever question I may have. So again, there's only a few tiles here. It probably will not cover every single question you may have, but hopefully at least gives you an idea of who might be the best person. If you are unsure, because it's still not quite reaching what you're looking for, always reach out to me with those oddball questions. If I am not the best person to answer it myself, I will help connect you with the next best person. Outside of that, the on-demand training tab is always what I next click on. For those of us online, you'll see that this is a password protected tab. I want you guys to take a moment to hopefully jot down this information, or at the very least save it into your computer. I will say it one time on this screen, and then the next tab will also have the same password. So if you miss it, we will go back over it in just a minute here. The password we're looking for those of us online is capital B, lowercase a, MC 350. And once we've typed in that information, well, in theory, okay, I promise I'm typing in everything correct. There we go. I was like, okay, normally it works on the first try, I promise. I think I was just bumping my finger on the other keys. But once you have typed in that password, it should allow you into the tab. On the left-hand side, you'll see on-demand training. If you select the button that says on demand, this takes you to our Keller Williams Valentine YouTube channel. And I like to share this with you guys because I want you to be aware that sometimes if you were to miss anything, you can find recordings of previously done meetings or previously held meetings, I should say, right here on our YouTube channel. I say that for your benefit again, understanding that everyone's schedules look different, understanding that life happens. I know that the crud has been going around for the last few weeks, especially. So if you find yourselves down because you are either ill, maybe you're traveling, life is allowed to still happen, and we want you to be present for it. So if there's ever a time that unfortunately you're not able to make a training, often you can find recordings of it here. Full disclosure though, before anybody gets super, super excited by that comment, this is not every single training that we offer. The trainings that we offer that have recordings posted are down here organized by playlist based off of that specific training. So you see there's a whole folder for team meeting recordings, a whole folder for keys to success recordings, a whole folder for Tech Tuesdays. So that is the type of video that you can find out here. And those are the types of trainings that if you were to miss them, those recordings get posted. So you're not going to find all of our standalone unique trainings with special name speakers that we're flying in. This is going to be more recurring content. So that way you can always come in and make sure that you have the most up-to-date information and you're not learning something that's no longer true. So be aware that this is out here in case you need it. You'll also find lots of fantastic interviews that Teresa has done with some of our other agents. Some other panels may have been posted as well that we've done in the past. So if these are videos that you feel like you could share with anybody else that you might know interested in either joining Keller Williams or joining Keller Williams Valentine specifically, use this information, share it, use it to kind of attract people to KW Valentine for your own profit share. Use it just to keep your clientele aware depending on what's shared in that meeting. So just again, be aware that these top videos up here, the public facing ones, you're welcome to share through social media. And then all of the recorded trainings, these are going to be unique to you guys at Valentine. They are not listed for people to publicly access. If you guys are looking for a specific video and you're realizing it is not posted there, please reach out to me because a lot of times I do have access to the information. Sometimes it's just YouTube that fights me, or because they're not listed, sometimes it's harder for you guys to find them on there. So just reach out to me if you're looking for something specific and not finding it. If it's something I have, I will send it to you directly. If it is not, I will let you know via email. After our website, or our YouTube channel, I should say, on the right-hand side, you'll also find Command on Demand. If you click the On Demand button here, what it will do is it will take you to the Scott Leroy Marketing YouTube channel. The Scott Leroy marketing team has their own YouTube channel out there, and they have over 1,000 videos dedicated to your KW technology. I say this because, again, that's one of the fantastic things that they offer is that on-demand resource, because we know that there are going to be times you may be messing with Command or DocuSign and after hours circumstances. I do not want you guys to be doing something at 6 o'clock and realize you don't know how to do the next step and feel like you are stuck until the following day. I know that also answers.kw.com, what we referred to at the beginning of today's class, is not always everyone's favorite fit for their learning style. Sometimes we do better where there's a shared screen and someone's actually sitting there showing me how to do things like a tutorial. So if that is what you're interested in, the Scott Leroy team has tons of fantastic content here. You'll see that it specifically tells you on that thumbnail what the topic is, so you know if it's something you would like to hop into. You can also see the duration of the video. Is this something I have time for? Is it a couple minutes, or is it a full-length training that I can go watch? Whatever you may be looking for, there is tons and tons of fantastic and up-to-date content right here on their website that I would encourage and implore you guys to explore at your leisure, because it's going to be great information that you may need at a specific time. So this is a great resource on where you can find a lot of that information. If you guys forget where that video on how to put your Nerds ID into DocuSign is, this is something you can go to the Scott Leroy channel and you can search Nerds ID and it will explain to you again the step-by-steps on how to input that information on your end. So just keep this in mind. This channel is fantastic. It's also just, again, great supplemental material for you guys. I know a lot of us this day and age are dual career as we transition hopefully to full-time real estate. So if you're in that boat, and again, it's just challenging to make those trainings that we offer work for your schedule, this can be that supplement or that alternative that you can lean into in the meantime. And then again, just those key videos that I recommended earlier on the front page are also pinned here for convenient access. And then just more information about Ignite, which we have spoken about already today. So I will let you guys read that a little bit more thoroughly when you are ready, if you still have any remaining questions about Ignite. The next tab that we always look at is Office Resources. This one I tend not to click on right away because I just feel like this drop down menu highlights some key information that's just easy to grab from that drop down versus once you're inside of the tab. So under this drop-down menu, the very first item you're going to see is advertising guidelines. This is a fantastic one for those of us who are gearing up to do our first social media post, maybe gearing up to do our business cards or anything of the sort. And you're just wondering, okay, what do I need to have versus what should I have versus what can I not have? If you're kind of in that same boat of not quite knowing what you should and should not have on your social media or your business cards, click on advertising guidelines because it will break down a lot of that information for you. If you find that you still have remaining questions after reading through that document, always feel like you can consult with Tasha because we encourage you to do so. And again, please know that if you are provisional broker status, you are required to get Tasha's approval on your business card design. So keep that in mind, please. Below advertising guidelines, you will find that our Valentine phone roster is here. So if you guys are wondering, okay, I met so and so in class today, but I don't have their contact information, I wish I could get a hold of them. Always come back to our phone roster. It is a live Google Sheet. You guys can access it and find contact information for every agent in this office. And that way it makes it a little bit easier for you guys to be in contact with one another. In addition to that, you'll also find that on occasion, you may want to send an email to every single person in our office very easily. So that way they can all get the same information from you at the same time. I think a lot of times what we see this is maybe sellers or buyers, when you guys are working with someone specific who's not maybe taking their furniture sets with them, but they have a short time to get that off their hands. That's an appropriate email blast. You can send that out to all the agents and say, clients looking to sell this dining set and needs to be gone by this date. We're looking for $500 or best offer, whatever that might need to be. But the phone roster is the best way to do email blasts like that. You essentially will just go in and you'll select all of the emails and you'll copy and paste them over into your composed email in Gmail and send that out. If you guys struggle at all with that or have questions about it, please let me know because I do have some helpful information I can share with you. But again, keep that in mind. That can be used something for individual points of contact, looking for specific agents' information, or to send emails to everybody. Underneath is concession request. That's one that most of us do not need right away. Typically, that's one that you may find yourselves looking for further down the line. But essentially, because Keller Williams is the direct payee on your commissions, and then we turn around and pay you as our independent contractor after the fact, we need to be aware as your brokerage anytime you guys are trying to alter your commissions. More often than not, most people don't tend to do that, which is good. Keep all the commissions that you feel that you've earned because you absolutely have. However, occasionally somebody might try to be generous and say, I think I'm going to pay for my buyer's home warranty as a thank you for using me or as a treat just because we got along so well. And that's wonderful. And for those of us who might be interested in doing that, the way to get approval on that idea, because you can't just go ahead and do that, unfortunately, without consulting with us first. The way to do this is to issue a concession letter. In order to have a concession letter issued by our BIC, because Sabre does have to say yes to these ideas, in order to get that concession letter issued by our BIC, you must submit the concession request, which is going to be the third item in this drop-down menu. You're going to go to concession request. You are going to fill out the information for the specific questions asked. Once you've sent that information off, Tasha then can go in, or Sabre can go in. They can draft that letter and send it back to you right away. We do this to streamline everything that we're looking for from you. We want to make sure we get the information up front because if not, it's a lot of back and forth and that just delays your ability to get that letter issued. So again, if you guys are ever changing your commissions, you do have to get approval on that from our BIC. And the way to do that is by issuing a concession letter. And for you as the agent, you're going to start with a concession request to get the concession letter. Below that item is going to be the do not call list. This one tends to be one we're more familiar with. So just be aware that, again, the do not call list is a very important for you guys to be registered and aware of. We want to make sure that in your lead generation, you're not contacting someone who's explicitly asked not to be reached. So if you guys have not yet registered, this is how you'll go about that process. Click that do not call list drop down menu item. It will give you step-by-step instructions for how to register for the site. And that way you know who you are not to contact if you would like to avoid potentially thousands in fines and court time. So again, if you've not already done it, this is an insanely important piece for you guys to do in the next few weeks. Please make sure you signed up for the do not call list so that you can access that information so that you don't find yourselves in a sticky situation. Otherwise, we can go ahead and click on Office Resources. Again, it's asking me for that password. This time I do think I'm going to type it in correctly. You can type in capital B, lowercase a, m, c, 350, and it should let you in now. The forms and checklists in the CE shop all can easily be reached right here from this page. So this is where I'll take a moment to explore that a little bit further with you guys. I always like to start out with on the left-hand side, there is a Get Forms button here. I specifically point this one out because I know most of the time the agents in this class are going to be North Carolina licensed. So if you were to go to, again, Office Resources, Forms and Checklists, Get Forms, and I personally like to look at it this way on the right. I like to see them. But in this folder, Sabra has uploaded documents unique to KW Ballantyne that she felt she was asked for very frequently by our agents. This is because she did not want to hold anybody up that frequently. So if you guys are looking for a specific KW Ballantyne document, for example, our W-9, maybe you're working a referral and you need our W-9. If you need our working with real estate agents agreement for sellers or for buyers. If you are looking for even just some helpful handouts that we have, this one explains your responsibilities as a buyer's agent from walk-in to final walkthrough. You'll also find that we have some inner office referral agreements. We've got information on personal properties. We've got referral forms themselves uploaded. We've got disclosures about our partnerships with title companies. Lots of information that you will be expected to have as part of your files that might not automatically show up in DocuSign. So if you're in DocuSign, you've got all the forms showing up for the state, but you're realizing, man, I can't find the septic and sewer document in there, but I know I need it. Then if you are not seeing it in your DocuSign, please come back to this Google Drive folder because between the two resources, you guys should have access to all the documents you need for your transaction. If you started out in this folder and you're realizing you're missing something, you're going to then shift to your DocuSign account because between the two, again, you should have access to everything you need. The biggest thing I'm typically asked for that I usually will direct you guys back to tends to be W-9s for any referral agreements, working with real estate agents, and some of those disclosure documents. So again, be aware that this folder is comprised of frequently asked for forms for North Carolina for KW Ballantyne agents. If you guys are looking for the same kind of forms for South Carolina because you're South Carolina licensed or you become South Carolina licensed, you'll find that information here on the right-hand side. You'll just hit Get SC Forms. In the middle, there is a Get Checklist button. If you select Get Checklist here, again, I'm just going to make it so that I can see these documents. You'll find that Sabra's also put together specific checklists for you as the agent to identify your responsibilities from start to finish in any given transaction. If you are North Carolina licensed or South Carolina licensed, if you are representing the buyer or representing the seller, she has a checklist in here for you that outlines all the tasks you're responsible for, if there is a timetable associated with that responsibility, and then a spot for you to literally sit there and check them off to make sure you've done everything you had to prior to sitting down at the closing table. We do this because we know, especially, that those first few transactions are not yet muscle memory, but we don't want that to stop you guys from feeling confident. So she's put these together so that you guys can go in knowing you've accomplished what you needed to do and that you left everything done. You did not leave anything off to the side before you guys close out the deal. So be aware that these checklists are here, guys. They are here to help support you. If it is something that you feel like you would benefit from using, use it. That's why they're here. And again, you guys can find those just by going to Office Resources, Forms and Checklists, and we just hit Get Checklist. Underneath, we do come across an access point to the CE shop. It kind of feels a little random sometimes to talk about the CE shop at this point in the conversation, but I do want you to be aware that we are partnered with the CE shop as well as Superior School of Real Estate. So because of those partnerships, you guys have access to discounts through both resources. So by clicking on Find Classes, this in particular will take us to the CE shop's website. On the CE Shop's website, you guys can see they've got tons of different information, pre-licensing, exam prep, post-licensing, continuing in ed. And as you can see, it's not exclusive to North Carolina. I know Superior is. So this is a great way for you guys to maybe get the South Carolina credits you may be looking for at some point, or if you would like to get licensed in another state based off of where you're from. Lots of other states are available to you through CE Shop. And because of our partnership, we do get discounts available to you. I know that they're going to be going live with a discount this Wednesday, 40% off this Wednesday, guys. Anytime that they're doing a flash 1-day sale like that, I always post about it to our private Facebook group so that it's really easy for you guys to access that discount code and use it. And I will always make a post about that flash 1-day sale at 8 o'clock in the morning, the day the sale goes live, so that you can use that information all day long. So, otherwise, through the CE shop, they are fluctuating their deals. Sometimes it might be as low as 20%, but sometimes it may be as high as 50%. So just be aware of what they're offering. Again, as you guys find that you might need to meet your post-licensing requirement, your CE requirement, be aware that the CE shop specifically is going to be a lot of online learning, a lot of self-paced learning. I preface with that because I know some people love that and that makes all the difference to them. And some people are not fans. They do prefer the live in-person route or they prefer a live Zoom seminar. So if you guys are curious about self-paced learning, maybe you've not yet tried it, but are curious about it, there is a way through this website where you guys can click the free trial option. It allows you guys to do a free trial of your licensing course, self-paced. If you love it, at the end of a week, you guys can go ahead and plug in your credit card information, purchase the rest of the remaining material, and go on with the course. But if you ended up walking away from it saying, absolutely not a fit for me, I need more accountability than that, you guys can walk away from that free trial with no consequence to you, no negative scores that would affect you, and also not having to have paid for anything. So just be aware that they do have free trials offered. As we scroll through, you'll see again that they have some frequently going on sales. Tell you what the sale is, also the proper code. They break down their packages for you. So lots of good information can be found here. The only other thing I like to point out on the CE shop for today is if you were to scroll all the way to the bottom, under Agent Essentials, there is going to be a teeny tiny little button that says Hot Topics. I do point this out because I know that social media marketing is really common nowadays because it's one of those kind of limitless resources that also comes at very limited cost. So with that in mind, I like to always make sure that you guys have additional resources and additional content that you can share through social media, because Jules and Leah's will always be the expert on the matter. They're always going to be your best point of consultation if you have questions about strategizing for social media marketing. But what I do know from what I've learned through them is that there are two really important factors when it comes to social media marketing. The first is that you guys are posting regularly. If you're not posting every single day, you're posting every other day. If you're not posting every other day, you're posting at least 2 or 3 times a week. The reason for that, again, is because it helps to keep your page active. It helps to get people aware of your page and the content you're sharing. The other important factor when it comes to social media marketing is that you guys are diversifying the content that you're posting. Do not keep posting the same thing over and over and over again, because eventually Facebook will say, nobody cares. We're going to put this on the back burner and nobody's going to see your post. unfortunately, just the way that the algorithms work. So I like to make sure that you guys know that there is some pre-done content already out there. So if you guys are looking to have a high social media presence or use social media marketing in a big way for your business, that you know this content is out here not only for you to benefit from as the agent, maybe you're reading a little bit more about what's going on in the market, but you can also copy and paste the link to this content and share it to your Facebook page. Make sure that you're sharing this information because, again, it can be your easy button for the day. There are going to be days where you might have a difficult time coming up with content, and it's nice to know that there are different resources out there to make it one step easier. So that's, again, the CE shop. We scrolled all the way to the bottom of their page and found hot topics. And this is that little library they keep of real estate based content that you can learn from and use for your own social media. After that, we will scroll a little bit further. There is going to be a section designated to our KW Ballantyne floor plan. Nobody's ever once asked me for this information. I don't necessarily expect you guys to be the first. But if you do ever find you need it, it is right there on our page. But underneath that, there is a lovely section called Numbers to Know. These numbers specifically are ones that are important for you guys to have, but not ones that we expect you to memorize just because you're not using them as often. But if you guys are ready maybe to go get your South Carolina license and you're filling out that application, it's going to ask you for a South Carolina firm license. That number is one of the ones featured right here in this section. So again, something I don't expect you to need all the time, but you may need it at some point, and this is where you can find content like that. If you're looking for our firm MLS ID number, that information is here as well. Another common one is our federal tax ID for when you guys are working referrals. So just keep in mind that those important numbers that we don't expect you to have memorized will be found right here on our website. So just be aware. A lot of this also should be printed off as a section in your packet that you received from me when we met together as well. Lastly, again, I mentioned office calendar there. It will just drag you down to that section, as I mentioned. But I do like to take a moment to explore the More tab before we talk about the last couple buttons that we're looking at today. The More tab, really, we have gone over most of this information. I just take an extra minute to point out specific items that we did not talk about. Know that the first half of this drop-down menu is going to be some great tech resources for you. So if you're looking again for easy access to tech resources, there is a ton right there in the top half of our More drop-down menu. After that, I like to mention that there is ALC meeting minutes here as a drop-down menu item. The reason I mention that is because, again, with our ALC meetings only being offered in person, I know that sometimes it is hard for you guys to attend those meetings, but you may still be curious about any information that they discuss that you may have missed. If that is true for you, we want you to have that information available to you. So you can go to where it says ALC meeting minutes. It will take you to a Google Drive folder that houses that content, and you can read through the documented meeting minutes so that you know what you missed. Below is a prayer request form, and I make sure that you guys are more aware of this from a talking point perspective. Of course, if you wish to fill out the form, you may, but we really just want you guys to know that very sincerely, we consider you to be a part of our family from the moment that you walk in the door. So if there's ever anything going on in your world personally, please, please, please be aware that we want to help support you through that and share that information with us as much as you feel comfortable. The reason being that we would, of course, love to give you a hug in the hallway, send you a card, check in periodically. But of course, if there's ever anything additional that can be done, especially in regards to maybe our KW Cares, we want to know how we can contribute to help support you along. So again, please be aware that we are here to help support you, pray for you, and love on you. We just need to know when things are happening so that we can do that to the best of our ability. Underneath, there is a section for KW Perks. KW Perks is going to be related to insurance. I know for those of us who are new to independent contracting, this may be your first time in a position without insurance provided by your employer. If that is true, KW Perks might be the solution for you. You can go to that website, search the insurance marketplace at a discounted rate. So just be aware again, KW Perks may be a very strong starting point for those of us who are curious about insurance options. Maybe we need insurance, or maybe we're just wondering what's out there if there is a better option for us. There is an easy access to scheduling the conference rooms we talked about. So I know earlier we looked at a very convoluted way. We had to do a lot of scrolling, lots of clicking. The easiest way is going to be in the more drop down menu. Click schedule a conference room. It will take you right back to that website so that you guys can go ahead, make the account, and then start booking those spaces for yourselves. Underneath that is KWB firm exclusive listings. We do have the option to take listings firm exclusive, meaning that if you guys wanted to take a listing but not put it into MLS and essentially give first dibs to other agents in this office, you would do so by making it firm exclusive. I mentioned this not so much to talk about when you guys may make that choice for yourselves down the line, just because that might be a little bit. I say this actually because what I want you guys to know is that if you're ever working with buyers and you guys have exhausted MLS trying to find what matches what they're looking for, the criteria that your buyers have given you, sometimes you're going to find that what they are looking for just is not out there within their price point. So, what I would recommend is always cross reference with the firm exclusive listing sheet here because it's a live document. So you'll always know any current listings that are available to you through your partnership with KW Ballantyne that would not show up in MLS. Because these specific listings will not be in MLS, but they are ones that are still technically for sale that you can introduce to your clients. And then to find out more information about that listing, it's as simple as just contacting the listing agent. But essentially, every time that Sabre takes firm exclusive listing paperwork from our agents, saying that they're having a listing going live that they want to be offered exclusively to our office members, she is uploading this spreadsheet for you so that you know that information is up to date. Below is going to be strategic vendor partners. If you click on strategic vendor partners, this will take you to our vendor spreadsheet. I point this out as well because, again, I mentioned earlier, I know not everybody's a big Facebook user, but I don't want anyone to feel like that means that they are struggling to get in touch with some of our vendors. So, anybody currently participating in our vendor program, we have listed on this spreadsheet. Again, it's a live document. So, as we're adding new vendors, you'll find their information posted. If there's anybody that steps away from the program, we'll take that information down. But otherwise, it will have their name, our direct contact, that is, their name, the company they're working for, their direct contact information, the services they offer, and any websites that may be associated with their company as well. And this way, it's really easy for you guys to get multiple quotes very quickly for your clients, or at least make multiple introductions for your clients to then do that pursuit themselves. But you'll see that we have them alphabetized by industry and organized as such. So if you guys are looking to get a new home construction vendor, this is an easy way for you to see everybody in our program that's under that umbrella. And you'll find the same is true as you continue to scroll through. The reason I also liked for us to look a little bit further is because you'll see under garage door, for example, that we do not currently have anyone listed. That's not because we do not like garage door companies. It's actually just because currently there's nobody with that specialty participating in our program. All that to say that if you guys are coming across a vendor that you know and love, whether this is somebody that's worked on your personal home, whether this is somebody that you've been acquainted for years, they're a good family friend, a good family member, or it's somebody that you find several months from now in your search for vendors for your own clients. Anytime you guys are getting connected with somebody that you think does wonderful work and that would benefit from being part of this program, where they have access to over 500 agents and can come sponsor events to get their names out there. We want to know about those fantastic vendors. So just make us aware and offer them the opportunity to learn more about our program. And it's very, very easily done. All you have to do as the agent is introduce them to PJ Kennedy via email. You'll introduce this vendor and PJ via email. And in order to do that, PJ's actually got business cards right up at the front desk to make it super easy. But once they're introduced via email, PJ will do all the legwork from there. He'll tell them all the ins and outs of the program, all the details and information they need to be aware of, any costs associated with that program. And he'll also offer to do an office tour for them. So you guys don't have to know all the unfun parts or do any of the unfun legwork. He will handle that part for you as our vendor program liaison. So again, if you are looking to introduce a new vendor to our program, it's a simple introduction with PJ, and you'll just grab his business cards from the front desk to make that intro. Or for those of us who might remember, under office resources, you can also check our phone roster to find PJ's contact info. Otherwise, under more, a little bit further down, we do have Outfront Magazine, which is very similar to the hot topics of the CE shop that we looked at. So if you guys are looking to do social media marketing at a high level and maybe again just struggling to come up with content, Outfront Magazine is releasing a monthly publishment that outlines a single post that you could make every day of that month. So that way you guys can duplicate and replicate, and then make that just simple for yourselves. Because again, there is no sense in reinventing the wheel. We're big on rip off and duplicate here, because it's exactly what helps us all to succeed. When somebody else has seen success with something, share that and pass it on to the next person. So Outfront Magazine could be a good fit for you if you're looking for something like that. Lastly, discount codes for real estate education in this drop down menu. If you select that, you'll find that on the left hand side, you can get back to our CE shop website that we already looked at. But to the right hand side, you'll also find Superior is listed. Each are going to be for separate courses. This will be pre licensing, post licensing, and continuing education. But with Superior School of Real Estate, we have a constant 30% off. So unlike the CE shop, that will not change on us. It will always be 30% off no matter the course, no matter the time of year. I like for you guys to be aware of this, obviously for your own benefits moving forward with your education, but also because this is a great segue and tool that you guys can use to get in conversation with new agents, make their day by helping them get into real estate for a little bit less money, make it less of a hurdle for them. And who knows the conversations that can be had as a result of that, because you very well might change everything for them, and they may look to you for a lot of different advice about maybe where they should be joining when the time comes. And you can not necessarily endorse Ballantyne, but you can just say Keller Williams as a whole. No matter where you are, Keller Williams is a very strong place to start. And if they feel inspired by you and your influence, they can go ahead and name you as a sponsor. And it's just another way for you guys to build your passive income. So keep that in mind. These are great tools for you guys, of course, in your own business, but also great tools to share. The most important thing to know with these is that there is no obligation of the individual using that code to join KW Ballantyne. So if you genuinely just want to share it to be nice, they do not have to join our firm because they used our discount code. So please be aware of that. Lastly, up top here, I like to just point out these three little buttons, all of which we should be somewhat familiar with at this point. I will start out by saying marketing help right here allows you to book a 30-minute consultation for free with Jules and Leah, our marketing team in this office. Their conversation with you will be uniquely crafted to your business based off your interests, what appeals to you, what your strengths are. They can work with you guys to come up with a marketing plan. As long as you want to be the one implementing what they're sharing with you, you want to be the facilitator, they'll teach you how to do everything you need to do, and you will be able to implement it for free. Everything stays free if you're the one comfortable doing that. If you would like to leverage, because either you do not have the time capacity, or maybe it's just a little bit over your head, you'd rather pay somebody who's comfortable with that to do it for you, you can also leverage through Jules and Leah, and that's optional for you guys. I like to make sure you know that just in case you did not already. But if you are interested at all in that marketing, you can go ahead and book that one-on-one consultation with them right here. It allows you direct access to their calendar, and this meeting can be done in person or online. No wrong answers. Just depends on your schedule and what your day looks like. The same is true for tech help. If you are having questions about KW Command or DocuSign, specific KW technology, click on this button to coordinate a 30-minute one-on-one private meeting with Rob Miller to talk about Command or to talk about DocuSign, to go over your questions, to learn something new, whatever that may be. Again, Rob is a great resource for one-on-one support. You guys can bring in your laptops for free, sit down with him, have him show you the ropes. You guys can also do this meeting remotely over Zoom if your schedule does not allow for you to be in the office, but that's a great way to get help with your KW technology. If you're also interested at all in ever using the media room that we have here in this office, it's easily done. You will need to book 2 training sessions if you haven't already. You can do that through this same button here. You'll just specify it's a media room training. FYI, it does need to be done in person to get training on that equipment. But Rob Miller will teach you how to use everything in there so that when the time comes that you are ready to use that space and film your own content, you know how to use it all and you will not need him there and available to observe. You'll be able to just get in, get done what you need to get done. So again, media room trainings and tech help done through this button here, in person or online, all for free. Lastly is booking call time at the front desk. If you guys are curious at all, we always, or you may have seen that we tend to have an agent up front at the front desk with Miss Sue. That is an agent serving on call time. Call time is available to you guys as a way for you to not only get acquainted with other agents, get acquainted with our office and our processes, but also for you guys to get leads. I know a lot of times we're looking desperately like, how can I get leads? How can I get my foot in the door? How can I get started? There are so many top producing agents right here in this office who will tell you that they got their first lead and their first closing through call time. So that's a fantastic way for you guys, again, to get comfortable in the office, get the opportunity to explore a little bit more, build relationships, and get leads. If you're curious about booking call time, Sue actually has a call today that she'll do, or a class in person and online. You can find it on our calendar. In her class, she's going to go over the basics of call time with you. She's going to make sure you guys know what to expect before you ever book your shift. And that way you can know you'll be comfortable up there at the front desk with her. If you guys cannot make today's class, she teaches this class once a month on the first Mondays. However, you can also reach out to Sue individually. She can always have a private conversation with you if your schedule is a little bit more complex. But we do offer 3 call time shifts a day, 8:30 to 11:30, 11:30 to 2:30, 2:30 to 5:30. That way you're only committing about 3 hours of your time during the day to be part of the office and serving on call time. You can bring your laptops up there. You can work diligently on whatever you may need to while you're giving her company. But again, just a great way for you guys to get involved. The other option is that you guys can also take call time weekend shifts where the calls are going to be diverted to your phones all weekend long. You don't have to physically be here in the office, but that way, if we do receive any inbound leads on a Saturday or Sunday, they're coming directly to you, the call time person. She'll also make sure that when you're on call time, she gives you a phone roster. So, of course, you know how to get connected to all the right people if you do have questions or if they're looking for someone specific. But call time is a fantastic way for you guys to get involved, a fantastic way for you guys to get acclimated, settled in, and of course, to start your business up. So, if you're interested, again, please look at our training calendar because she would be happy to have this conversation with you guys over Zoom this afternoon. But 12 o'clock, Sue will go live with that class. Otherwise, I have gone over everything I planned to with you guys today. I know, again, I do go very quickly, so I apologize for anybody that felt like that went really fast and was too nice to say anything. As a positive, there is going to be a recording today that I will post to our YouTube channel that you guys can go back through, rewatch, and then make sure you know the information and feel comfortable with it. But of course, if you do have questions, reach out to me. I'm never offended if you guys need me to go back over something with you. But hopefully this did shed some light on some of the other resources and tools available to you through our website and made you just feel a little bit more comfortable using them or understanding how they would be used in your business. But again, I'm always here for questions. So before I let you guys go, because we did wrap up early today, before I let you guys go, does anybody online have any questions for me that I can help out with? Okay, I'm going to take that as a good sign. If I'm wrong, just start talking over me. But if not, please, guys, go ahead and enjoy the rest of your Monday. Enjoy the start of your 2026. We are so excited to have you, and we are so grateful for your attendance today. We're looking forward to seeing you for the remainder of the week. Again, please pay attention to the calendar to know when our next sessions will be. Otherwise, enjoy your day. We look forward to having you at Ignite, and let me know how I can help out.